I want to start by talking about the title of the film, because it feels a lot like, to me, like you're kind of taking back a word that has some maybe negative connotations, the way that Richard Linklater did with Slacker. Like you're kind of just like, oh, this is like another thing. But just tell me, like, how did you gonna land on this as a title?
I don't remember exactly how it came to me, but I don't know. I thought it represented a lot of the characters in the movie, but I think it's interesting because, you know, it is sort of an insult a lot of the time, because I think, well, maybe not a lot of the time, but I think that the term, or I guess what it means to loaf around, does come with a lot of privilege too, to be able to do that. So I think it plays a lot of different corners. Is that a phrase?
Yes, I would agree.
Were there other possible titles that you played around with?
No, I think it was always loafers from the first time I got the script to today.
Another word that sometimes has a negative connotation is mumblecore, which is clearly something that I'm not even sure if it does, parts of it qualify, I think, but I think you're more drawing inspiration from like early Swanberg, and then the early Duplass brothers, and then Wachowski and stuff like that. So but tell me again, like, where were you thinking about those? Because I saw you thanked some of them here, and I'm guessing not all of them were people you had direct contact with. Maybe they're just inspiration. But again, talk about some of the flavor you were trying to incorporate into this.
That's a great way to put it. It is like a flavor for sure. Nate actually introduced me to mumblecore because he made a movie, it's called My Friends. Check it out. But he made a movie a couple of years before he made Loafers that was in the same sort of style. And he put me in that movie and had me watch this sort of genre. And I was just fascinated by the idea of watching people talk about things, not necessarily knowing how to. But yeah, I think mumblecore directors from the early 2000s, like The Puffy Chair, that movie was hugely inspirational for us. I'm forgetting the exact question now.
Just wondering, like, what were some of the things that were sort of mumblecore included, but who were some of the filmmakers and maybe that were giving you the tone of this thing?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that I entered the movie through like character and relationship, and I think that shows up a lot in mumblecore. So like the Duplass brothers with the Puffy Chair, definitely Swanberg, but also another one is sort of more modern. You could call neo mumblecore. Is Cooper Raif's Shithouse.
Right.
That movie is great. And great movie. And they made that for a little bit of money, and I don't know.
I mean, on the whole mumblecore thing, I think what attracted me to it and what's so special about it is how tactile it feels, and how it really, you watch a mumblecore movie and you say, oh, I know how to make this movie, I see how they made this movie, I think I could probably go and make a movie like this too. Which is exactly what we did, and you just all saw it. Thank you for being here. But I think, we're inspired by a great number of filmmakers. Joe Swanberg, Kevin Smith, John Cassavetes, Ziga Vertov for editing, that's like a different thing. But there's something so tactile and so special about those early 2000s movies, especially that they were taken seriously by people and not just thought of as like navel-gazy and annoying. Which in some level they kind of are, but in some level so is everybody else. And that's kind of what it's like to be this age, if I can be so bold to say that. Navel-gazy. I think that's like a big part of it. I think those movies not only informed the tone of the aesthetic, but gave us like the courage to go and do something like this.
What did it mean to you that you were able to include Joe Swanberg in a small role in this film? Like, was that, how long was he actually there for? Because I think he's doing a bit. Like, he is so funny in that scene. But just tell me about the connection and how did you get him in here, other than him being from Chicago?
Yeah, I did a movie that he produced about 6 months. Well, actually, when I was writing the script, I was shooting that. And when we were getting close to production, I gave him a call and I was like, "Hey, man, do you want to like lend a hand in any way possible, whatever you want? And he was like, I can't produce, but like I'll play a part in it. And he came to set that day for
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Yeah.
my friend Max went and picked him up, drove him over. We filmed for about 20 minutes. Maybe he took like a bag of pretzels. Max drove him home.
It was awesome.
And that was it.
Yeah, it was very, you know, he was very generous of him to do that for sure.
If you want to see Joe Swanberg's new movie, it's playing tomorrow night.
It's
great.
Woo!
It is very good. Okay, so $6,000, 11 days. That's a lie, right?
No, that's true.
Okay. No, I figured it. But how do you walk me through? Walk me through where did you start working on this, and to the time you started working on this to the time you actually started filming, like started writing to filming, you graduated?
True.
Yeah, then sort of walk me through.
Yeah,
the
okay,
days.
timeline. So I went to DePaul University. And like 2 months before I graduated, we graduated late in June. So I started writing in April, and I finished the first draft maybe the first week of May, and I sent it to him.
He sent it to me about 4 days before my graduation, and I read it.
Yeah.
And I gave him a lot of notes, and we started working.
Yeah, so then we were essentially editing the script, doing new passes for the whole summer. But then in June I graduated, and then the next day I saw Ghostlight, which is Alex Thompson and Kelly O'Sullivan's movie, here. I saw it at the Music Box, and it's about a bunch of Chicagoans falling in love with acting and theater through Shakespeare. And then the next day I started rehearsals for my first play outside of college, which was a Shakespeare play, and that was nuts. And then, so that was the summertime, and then we really started diving into pre-production in like August, and then we started shooting in October.
Because you said you graduated in May, but you're not from here.
No.
How did you guys meet? How did you
So,
get...
Zach and I are cousins. We've known each other our whole life.
But we didn't grow up together.
We didn't grow up together.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, and honestly, we weren't really that close when we were younger. We just like followed each other on Instagram. We all have like big families. Yeah, that's just like how it goes. But he was always, when we were kids, like he was always the actor, and I was always the one who was like, I'm gonna make movies. So everyone's like, you guys should go stand in a corner and like do something together.
We never did.
We never did until sort of recently, and now we don't want to stop.
Tell me about the size of your crew. And like, I mean, you told me earlier you basically did this without a single permit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a permit.
Which I had speculated was the reason you're walking down so many alleys as opposed to walking on side, which you said was not true. But but I'm going to say it's true because I think.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm like, because I was watching this with my cousin.
Oh.
And he's like, and I'm like, I don't know people that just walk down the. I mean, Chicago has a great alley system, but I've never seen this many people in a movie walking through the alleys of Chicago. So you may have opened up a whole new tourist thing.
Happy to be the first.
Tell me about the crew and like just the production itself. Like,
Well, yeah, we had about 3 or 4 consistent crew members that were there every day. Yeah.
We had someone. We always had someone to hold the camera. We always had someone to do sound. We always had someone to do the slate.
But a lot of the time, those were actors in the movie too.
I recorded sound a lot. I got lunch a lot. Zach held the camera a lot. Some of our actors recorded sound.
I mean,
that
was sort of the vibe on set. It was like, because we were almost all of us were friends before the production. It was like a very collaborative effort. We both of us really wanted it to be fun first, and so it was really important to us that people weren't just sitting around all day, and it was met with a lot of generosity from the crew and cast.
And on that same note, like, I think so many of the most wonderful moments in this movie are moments of improv and moments where people felt empowered to go and take a scene in a certain direction, and I think that kind of feeling of freedom, a big part of that comes from having everybody be involved and having their voices be respected in a very like technical sense on the production, and not just like we respect you because you're our actor, but because you're the one who's holding the microphone right now, and you know it's not comfortable to hold it here, so maybe we should change the shot a little bit. which then leads to a whole other new world and new scenes and things that I think are really special that wouldn't have happened had we not kind of gotten really awesome people to spend their time with us.
One of the things I absolutely adore about the film is that you're not nostalgia mining. Because this is not a film about something like, oh, this is when I was like 10 years ago, or this is the word we came up with, time capsule. This is who you were, who all of the people in this movie were. These are your apartments. These are places that you said some of the restaurants people worked in. That's what we're seeing. This is then, or this is a year and a half ago when you shot it. But like, you don't see movies like that. And like, are you a different person now than you were when you made this? Like, is it?
Yeah, I mean, God,
do you feel different?
So.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I like what just growth.
I have a mustache now.
I have a mustache this week, but
You might not recognize it.
yeah, I mean, I think that when I was writing it and when we first started to make it, we were like, well, because we only have $5,000-6,000, like we have. It is sort of freeing in that way, and like, okay, we don't need to do anything that will make a studio want to buy it or whatever. So we were just like, let's take advantage of the fact that we are rolling cameras right now, and we can just savor this moment of our lives because it was also new to us, and we figured hopefully one day we can look back at it and smile, but who knows? Hopefully, but I think that was just a benefit of the budget level and everything.
It's nice when you know what you're doing, but it's also kind of nice not always knowing what you can't do.
100%.
You're not supposed to do. Yeah, exactly. Okay, wait. I gotta. Before I forget, I don't want to miss this question because we talked about it yesterday. I told you I was going to ask it. Okay, in one of the first scenes in the film, you and I'm sorry, remind me. Of the
Cameron, played by Dan Haller. Round of applause.
Cameron are sitting on a couch, and there's a poster for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid behind you. And on that poster, it says Fathom Events. And I'm like, I don't think any self-respecting cinephile would allow a Fathom Events poster on their wall. Is that there for real, or is that something you put up for that scene?
No, it is there for real. but it is still there. But here's the story. It's not a very long story. I was at a thrift store, and there were a bunch of posters rolled up. They were rolled up, so I couldn't see the whole thing. And then I saw the title, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and I had just watched it for the first time, and I was like, I'm gonna get this. We have a frame waiting to be have a photo be put in it at home. So I grabbed it, and then it was a perfect fit. So I couldn't cut off the Fathom Events part, but I've never seen a Fathom Events screening of anything. I promise.
That's what scissors are made for.
Hindsight.
So wait, you mentioned something about improv. How much of what we're seeing here is what you wrote, and how much of it did you just sort of let them? Make it their own.
I think a lot of it is as scripted. I think most of the jokes are improv.
Okay, not all of
Okay,
the
not
jokes. Some.
We did write it. We did have a fully fleshed out script. But I think like when I say improv, I don't mean just coming up with things on the fly, but like following the structure of the scene as laid out in the script and following the emotional beats of the story. But if a line's not coming out naturally, just change the line.
Yeah, that was very welcome on set. Like, I mean, you can ask the actors if this is actually true, because almost all of them are here, but I felt like what my intention was, again, correct me if I'm wrong, was to offer that, like, if this is not coming out of your mouth properly, if it doesn't feel right, like, say it differently.
One of the things that always drew me, especially to the Duplass brothers' work, is that whereas some people, we think of like Judd Apatow and improv, and it's to get to the best joke. But the Duplass brothers wanted to get to like the emotional heart of something with improv.
Yes.
And I've been lucky enough to be able to tell those guys that's what made me love their movies so much. But there's a lot, like the film takes a turn at a certain point, and I think what we get is that. I feel like you hit that perfectly, and that's sort of, I think, what separates this from some of the other indie things I've seen. Tell me about that style of improv, and how much did you allow that to happen, where it's more about something more serious.
Thank you, first of all. Improv is very important to me, but I think mostly in the sort of finding moments version. I love comedic improv too, but at DePaul University, the first acting class that you take is Viola Spolin. Shout out Viola Spolin. She sort of is credited with creating a lot of theater games back in the early 20th century. She created them so that a bunch of immigrant kids coming to America could play games together if they didn't speak the same language. And the purpose of the games was to get to know each other truthfully, but then it's been adapted and she's made it into a book for actors and everything. But that's sort of, to me, that's one of my favorite ways to look at acting. And it's definitely embedded itself into me in all creative facets. So I think that when you're allowing yourself to play without the goal being, let's get a laugh, I think that just grounds you even more. So thanks for saying that.
One of the reasons I sort of jokingly said I didn't believe this was made for $6,000 is you have so much terrific music in this thing. I didn't believe you could afford all that licensing. Tell me about the music. Where did you grab this from?
When you have really talented friends, you don't have to do any licensing. You craft that really nicely.
I think a couple of them are here tonight, actually, who made
Yes.
songs. Like, I know Gabe who made one of the party songs here. We surround ourselves with really talented people and got lucky.
Who were very gracious to let us use it for free. But we also used artlist.io. I see their YouTube ads all the time, and now their music is in the movie. And I feel like we got really lucky. I mean, I feel like there's so much, not to be mean, junk on there, and we found some really great stuff, I think. Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
I hope at some way you're able to at least give us a playlist at some point.
Yeah, I'll pull it on Spotify.
Another thing that came up when I watched it the second time was that I realized that there's a lot of these characters are, again, it's a product of being young, that they have trouble sometimes communicating their feelings. And there's lots of issues, like everything from the whole rent conversation, which is it's like the most uncomfortable scene in the whole movie, to just relationship discussions and problems with parents, but no one has any issues hugging and saying "I love you," which is wild. Why? Like, what is that a regional thing? Is that an age thing? Like, what? Where? I mean, clearly that's not something you just made up. But
Yeah.
where do you think that? Is that a Gen Z thing? Like, what is that?
It's just, that's me and my friends,
Woo!
Yeah. Love you guys. I don't know. Like, I think that the best relationships and friendships that I've had in my life have been the ones where we sort of aim for honesty and vulnerability in that way. And I think it's probably getting more common. I don't know.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I mean, yeah, it's honestly, it's been really nice to hear people shout that out, because it's very reaffirming in that way, and highly recommend saying "I love you" to your friends, especially like guys saying it to their male friends. Like, come on, say you love them.
Yeah. My next question, which is the other thing that this is about, is it's a portrait of modern masculinity. Even though you have some amazing, very wonderfully written female characters in this too, but that was, again, that kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying about saying "I love you" like that. Was that something you wanted to sort of explore? Was that the idea of how are men together?
No.
Like how are
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't think either of us had that intention to explore or highlight that, because it just kind of felt very natural and matter of fact for us. That is how Zach talks to Dan, and that is how I talk to many of my friends. Exactly. It's not, I think it just kind of comes with who our friends are and who we happen to be lucky enough to be surrounded by, because there's certainly big groups of young men these days who are kind of totally reject that, and have them run the country. But we have friends and we say "I love you" to each other, and that's cool too.
Yeah, it was never like an intentional, like, here's how you can be masculine in this way. But I think that what it probably comes from is the fact that all of us are, that's something that we're doing intentionally in our lives, and that's sort of reflected in the movie.
I want to ask a couple more things, and let's get some of your people up here. You came out of, I mean, you're primarily up to this point you were an actor. Do you look at the trajectory of your future career a little differently now? I mean, is this something you're going to do?
I am gonna. I love it all. Sorry, what was the question?
No, that was the question. But I also realized sometimes actors are told, like, if they're not working very much, somebody just says, write something for yourself. Was that part of the reason you wrote this? Is just to
Definitely.
give yourself something to do? Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, I think that, God, this is such a eye roll of a thing to say, but I feel like actors are we're storytellers. Sorry. It's, but what that means to me right now in this answer is that, directors and writers are also storytellers. So I think we're all cut from the same cloth. So I don't feel like you need to limit yourself by just being I mean, obviously, if it's helpful to you to call yourself just one thing, of course. But it was that. It was okay, I'm about to graduate college and I have no acting jobs lined up. I'll just write something. Let's see how this goes, and if it works, it works, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm directing something later this summer, actually, that he's producing.
I mean, the notion of, if you're an actor and no one's giving you a role, write something for yourself, kind of like what Zach was saying, it kind of applies to everybody. I was graduating from college, I didn't have a job, I wanted to make a movie, so I was like, sure, I'll try producing a movie, why not? I have nothing else to do. And it turned out really well, and it just kind of, it goes back to what's so cool about those early 2000s mumblecore movies, where they just kind of wanted to do something, and so they did. Whether it turned out spectacularly or poorly, it doesn't matter. They went and they made something, and they were creative with their friends. I think our movie turned out pretty well, which is very nice. But yeah, I think we just wanted to do something, and we didn't really want to wait for someone to kind of let us do it.
So, like you said, you made this a year and a half, coming up on 2 years ago. Where are Isaac and Hugh today? What happened to them since?
You know what?
2 years.
I have a great relationship with this actor, filmmaker named Kevin Bagley, who's a DePaul grad. He's an actor. He lives out in LA, but I was talking to him about he was like, all right, what are you gonna write next? And I was like, should I think about writing a sequel? He was like, no, dude.
I have such a good idea for a sequel.
Well, what he said was, maybe in 10 years do it, but I think they're doing okay.
Yeah.
What everyone wants to know. Okay. Woo! All right. So, what are we doing here? You tell me.
I wanted to call up a lot of the cast and crew that worked on the movie. So I wanted to call them all up to the stage to stand right here in front of everyone else. Yeah, well, you don't have to.
But it'd be really nice,
But I think most of you sit together. There they are.
Oh, I'm in the way now because I'm sitting. So I have to
Get our good side.
This is Ruby Sepchik. Chloe Rodriguez, she played Lucia. Paul Steves, he played Cole. This is Oliver Sugas, he played Cyrus.
Tyler Colton, a PA sound recorder, GFT.
This is Dan Haller, my best friend, he played Cameron. Riley Curtis, one of our other DPs. Ryan Stepple, colorist.
Who taught us so many things, and Xander Stroud, another one of our wonderful colorists.
I think that's most people. Yeah.
I just want you guys to see, I wasn't joking before, that they were all here. So yeah, say hello, take your pictures. Thank both of you guys for coming out and letting us play your movie. Thank you guys for sticking around. All right.
Thank you. This was honestly a dream come true. Thank you guys.
We'll all be in the lounge.